Remain discreet, keep it cute. Don't always give out too much information because you just never know. I mean, listen, I've seen a lot of Lifetime movies and I've seen all of the Takens. Baby, when I say I'm traveling, and I live in New York, so when I'm traveling, I'm like, beep, 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 danger, danger. Like, that's how I feel. Hi, I'm Taylor-Alexis, and this is a safe place to talk dangerously about life in your 30s, wellness, and film. So if you're new, welcome, and if not, thanks for coming on back. Today, we're going to be diving into solo traveling as a woman in your 30s, the pros, the cons, the tips, what to pack, and why you shouldn't be afraid. So let's talk. There have been countless studies related to traveling, and a lot of them have similar results. One of the interesting facts was that solo trips were on the rise, and guess who were doing them? Women, like 85%, right? That's a big number, right? Whether you're looking to marvel at a landscape or you're just going to escape the monotony of life, solo traveling is where it's at. And as a solo traveler advocate, I wanted to talk about this because I think you should do it. And I know it's so daunting, it's so scary, but trust me when I say, when you do your first solo trip, and I'm talking like out of the country, you're gonna love it. I know we usually start with the pros, but I thought we should start with the cons. Let's start with the cons, get that out the way, so I can continue convincing you to do some solo traveling. The number one con is that it could be costly when you have no one to split those bills with, like no one to split the hotel, no one to split the flight or anything like that. Meals, it can become expensive, but that shouldn't discourage you because there's still some fun to it. I guess it's a con, but I think it's just like a measure as a woman in your 30s. Like it's a safety concern too. Like you kind of have to be on your P's and Q's. You got to have that situational awareness where you're looking around like, what's happening here? Like if it doesn't feel right, don't head towards the light, okay? Okay, this con I'm on the fence about because yes, doing a solo trip can be lonely in some senses, right? Maybe there's some activities that you want to do that would probably be better with the companion, but then sometimes you need those trips to just kind of reset, regroup, recharge with self, and you really don't want anyone else there. I love those. I know. What I've realized in therapy is that I enjoy, being outgoing and fun and but I have a lot of days where I'm like, I don't want to talk. I will take a whole weekend. Do not disturb. If it's an emergency, you got to call 911 because baby, I'm not available. And that's my boundary. The reason why I say that I'm kind of on the fence about the loneliness of solo trips is because sometimes when you're there by yourself, you might meet someone else that's there by themselves. And then, there blossoms a new friendship or a new connection or just enhances the trip. So those are my cons for a solo trip. But let's get into the pros because baby, there's a lot. Okay. Number one, freedom, the independence. There's nothing like waking up wherever you are in the world and just doing as you please. You have the autonomy to just do whatever. You don't have to check in if this person's not interested in that kind of activity, yada shmada. My last solo trip, and I'm starting to realize that Puerto Rico has been my place to go by myself. I just always have a good time. But sometimes, I have friends that are not as adventurous as me. And they're like, all right, Taylor, I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go, watch the sunrise or something like that. But with a solo trip, you can take those moments. You could go for it. You are absolutely the only person on your itinerary that you have to worry about. Because you're not there with other people, having conversations or doing adventures with them, you tend to focus in on what's around you. So you'll explore the city, you'll explore the customs and the cultural aspects of it. And that can prove to be such a enriching time and such an inspiring time as well. Of course, obviously, self-reflection and, this is your time to reconnect with yourself. So when I had a car in New York, I used to drive to the beach in the summertime, of course, and just kind of sit out there and just chill out and vibe. Of course, our bodies are 80 or 75% made of water. So of course, being by water feels right. That's not the case for everybody. Some people hate the beach itself, so maybe sit by a river, I don't know. But I love those moments where you get to kind of recharge and really hear yourself think too. And I would say like after a solo trip, you know, if you're not feeling those post-trip blues, you gain this broader perspective of the world. Now, I think living in these large cities like New York or LA or Miami, it can be quite a bubble, right? You're just so engulfed with whatever's going on in the city that everywhere else doesn't it doesn't seem like it matters, but like there's so much out there. There's so much outside of your hometown. So don't let these TV shows or what you see in the media scare you to the point where you don't leave your country. Obviously, you need the fun. So traveling is a privilege. Yes, I understand that. I hate that we live in a world where we got to say all these things. Like, y'all know what the hell I'm talking about, right? Okay, cool. Before the trip, I think this also goes up based on personality. Some people can just go book a trip and then find things to do. And then you have some people that would like to plan it out to the T. I find myself somewhere in between, right? I think what I did on my last solo trip is every day I just picked a thing to do, an activity. And I'm like, all right, that's the focus of the day. Everything else will fall into place and we'll just go from there. That's great too, because then it feels like you have this sense of purpose, because I'm not the person that will go to a resort and just sit at the pool all day. No, because I can do that in New York. I mean, it's not going to be the best, but you know what I mean? Like, that's not exciting for me. If anything, I could just put on some VR goggles and go to the beach there. Like, that's what that feels like to me. So I like to get up and go out and see things and talk to the people and try foods. Like, I'm not the person that's going to go to another country and want American things. No, I don't want it. Especially when it comes to cuisine. Like, no, I'm not going to go unless it's the Caribbean. I feel like that's the only place I'll have KFC. I'm not having KFC in America, but in the Caribbean, yes, man. Before your trip, research the location. How far is it from the airport? How far is it from the activities? How are you going to get to the hotel that you're staying at? Are you staying at an Airbnb? Those kind of things. Car rentals. What kind of activities are you going to do? What's the weather like? I don't mind Airbnbs, but I think if you're traveling solo, for safety concerns as a woman, I would like to stay in a hotel, or if I'm going to stay at an Airbnb, I would pick one that's in a location where it's active, where there's a lot of people, a lot of things going on. We're going to stay away from those secluded areas and make you a target, and we'll get into that later. Of course, ensure that you have the necessary travel documents. There's nothing worse than finding out maybe your passport has expired or you don't have enough pages in there and you need to get a new one. Make sure that that is up to date, because it just makes your life easier, so much easier, especially with solo travel. Another really helpful tip too, if you're ever unsure about the travel guidelines and stuff like that, I know Delta for sure has their own website that takes you to the country's websites for the travel guidelines. But if you go to a country's their official website, you'll find those travel guidelines under there too, so you know what you need in order to get into the country, in order to leave. Thankfully, we are not so deep in COVID times anymore, where we had to take a test right before, because that was madness. But I'm gonna keep COVID off of this channel. All right. Speaking of going to the country websites too, I always encourage people to look up the customs and the cultural norms. What we do here in America does not fly in other places, and you'd be arrogant to think that you get away with certain things overseas that you would get away with here. Okay, I know this is the land of the free, liberties, all that, but some of that shit does not apply in other countries, and they take that really seriously. So the last thing you want to do is go on a solo trip and end up in someone's jail because it's just not gonna be the same. So that's the more serious part of planning before the trip. I haven't personally done this, but I've met people on solo trips that have done this. They find Facebook groups of traveling women that are out there doing things by themselves too, just to see if they can kind of connect. I haven't tried it, but I see that it works for others. So if that's an option that you're interested in, absolutely go for it. I'd also say check out some activities like tours and any outdoor stuff. You can check that out on Viator. I think I'm saying that right. Time Out. TripAdvisor, and also Airbnb. They have an experience section on their website. It's not promotion, but I'm just throwing out the nuggets and the resources for my girlies. So yeah, and of course, let someone know you're traveling. Let a trusted person or like a loved one, let them know where you're staying, what your travel dates are, what's your flight information, things like that, just so that somebody knows just in case. Because I told you, I'm not the person. Please do not keep, find my iPhone on me. I hate that. Like it's creepy. I don't like that. But that might work for you. So I'd say another tip, check your wireless provider's international plans, or maybe you can buy like an international SIM card and use it out there. I think it's best, that's like key to have when you're by yourself, some kind of access to the internet, right? Something, just so that you can let people know that you're okay, or if you need to use Google Maps or Apple Maps or anything like that. We need a little bit of the connection. I know we like to disconnect, but we need a little bit of the connection just to make sure that you're safe and you're good. Lastly, I'd say, which is a great transition into the next topic, is pack light. Bring practical things. Because what does Erykah Badu say? Pack light. Boom, boom. Ooh, ooh. No, but seriously, pack light, because you're going to hurt your back, for real. I mean, listen, I know I feel like I'm the glam girl all the time, and I got it down to a T where I'm like, all right, I have my travel stuff and I have my regular items or full-size items for if I'm checking a bag or something like that. But just try your best to get the travel size. It just makes things easier. And if you do check your bag, maybe pack an outfit or two in your carry-on so that just in case anything happens, you have things with you. I think it's easier to get like a toothbrush and certain toiletries if someone lost your bag, or hopefully not. But have an outfit. Trust me, I learned the hard way. I one time went to Spirit. This is what, 2009? I think it was like spring break to the Bahamas. Paid for the bag and everything, and they lost my bag, or they didn't put it on the plane or something like that. And I was livid, and I was like, you know what? I'm never flying Spirit again, and I meant it. You will not catch me on Spirit, so I'm sorry, y'all. Delta girl till I die. So of course, obviously, you want to make sure you have your travel documents, whatever passports that you need, a visa, any kind of documents that will help with customs, bring that with you. I know the passport holders are so cute and they're so fashionably functional, all of that, but just make sure you're able to take your passport out when you get to TSA, because they don't care for all that. They need you to take it out so they can see it in living color. What's also very important, money, having cash money on you. Make sure you convert it before you go. And having cash on you is great too for sticky situations where maybe you need to, I don't know, hand a bouncer $20 against the club, or like tipping the shuttle driver to the airport, those kind of things. It's always good to have a little cash on you. I know most credit cards, a lot of the travel credit cards too, they waive the international fees, so that's good as well. But again, having cash on you definitely helps. Portable locks. I'm not too crazy about that, but I understand, like a gym locker or something, that kind of thing to put on your bags. But I do know from my experience of being at the airport that sometimes they will break open your lock if you lock your bags with a portable lock. So just keep that in mind. But I would say have maybe that for like the place that you're staying at, but that's what I'm saying. Like if you stay at a hotel, you most likely have a safe, which is great. Some Airbnbs offer that as well, but that's where I would probably use the portable lock, just to lock up some valuables while you're there. Travel size for your toiletries, don't get crazy. It's just easier to do it that way. It's lighter. Like I mentioned before, pack an outfit in your carry-on just in case. You never know. Things happen. Your bag could get lost in the airport and they put it on the next flight and you don't have it for the next day. Things happen. So also clothing, of course. Now, again, glam girl here. I love to have different outfits for each day. And I know there's a lot of ladies out there that understand that, yes, we do need an outfit for the day, for, the afternoon, and then also for the evening. Just in case, you never know. Like we might be going on a 4-day trip and we're packing like 20, 40 outfits just in case, because you never know. But a trick that I like to do, and I've seen it kind of evolve online as well, I like to write down the outfits, kind of plan it out. So I know like, all right, at least I have a dinner outfit here. This is what I'm gonna wear for the day or something like that. And I've seen people actually take pictures of their outfits on. And then like on the iPhone, I think you can make yourself, the picture of yourself, like a sticker, and then you can put it in your notes. So that's helpful too. I think that's like the best thing to help from overpacking, because there have been times where I pack like 2 hours before I need to leave, which I rarely do, but just I'm tossing everything in there and I'm like, wait a minute, why is this like 60 pounds? Like, what's going on? And then also, my little tip, I think it's always nice to pack your favorite snack, obviously non-perishables, in your luggage or something like that. Like, I love trail mix, and I know that sounds so old. That your favorite snack is trail mix, but I don't care. I don't care. That's my thing. So I'll go to Target, I'll get my little Good and Gather bag, and I'll put it in my suitcase, and also bring a reusable water bottle when I can. But it depends. Sometimes you'll travel to a country where they advise you not to drink the water straight from the faucet, just drink bottled water, but it's up to you. Use at your own discretion, but stay hydrated, folks. Okay, so now you packed your bag and you're ready to go, right? You went through all TSA, you went through the boarding process, you're dealing with the person that's taking 5 years to put their bags up in the overhead bins. Like, we're at the destination. Have fun. Take a lot of pictures and videos, because guess what? Chances are you'll regret not taking enough pictures and videos of that solo trip, especially your first one. What? Be out there like a vlogger, damn it. Like, take pictures of everything, but enjoy yourself. So I always say to maintain situational awareness. I hate that my fridge just turned on. Thank you so much. Don't make yourself an easy target. Don't have your valuables everywhere. I mean, me personally, I don't like to be a flashy person anyways, but if you're gonna have your flashy stuff, make sure that your valuables are out of sight. You know, have an inner pocket to put your passport or your ID or your cash, your credit card. Like, pickpocketing is real. Especially as a woman, I think it's important to remain discreet. So let's say you're out at a bar, you're cute, you're having a good time, and somebody comes up to you and they're strumming up conversation. Regular thing, right? Don't give out too much information if you're like there by yourself, or, you know, the length of your stay, where your hotel is at. Like, I'm always kind of like, And I've had this happen to me when I'm on a group trip too. Like, so a guy would be like, ooh, you're cute. Like, where are you staying at? Why you want to know? You trying to set me up? What's going on? So just remain discreet, keep it cute. Don't always give out too much information, because you just never know. I mean, listen, I've seen a lot of Lifetime movies and I've seen all of the Takens. Baby, when I say I'm traveling, and I live in New York, so when I'm traveling, I'm like, beep, 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 danger, danger. Like, that's how I feel. I say that to say, don't let that, you know, cloud your entire trip, but embrace spontaneity. Like, you know, let's say you wake up and you decide, I'm going to take a yoga class or something, or do something extravagant. I don't know, like go for a hike or anything like that, or scuba diving, hell. Be open to it, you know, talk to people that you wouldn't regularly talk to. You know, I know a lot of people don't like small talk, but I think on vacation, it's the best. What? It's the best. Nobody knows you. Like, you just do what you want. Now, I'm not saying go out here and be a pathological liar. Don't do that now. But, you know, start up conversation. See what other people are into. What brings them to said city, and like, why are they at this bar or whatever. And you never know, you might make some long life friends on vacation. I've done that. Just a little tip. If you can, no pressure. But it's nice to keep a travel journal, whether you're writing it down on your phone or actually writing it down. It's cool. Like, let's say, you know, you write down what you did each day. How are you feeling? What did you see? What was so exciting? You know, if you have any keepsakes, if you have like, I don't know, some stamps or paper or something, like, you can just keep it in the travel journal. And then it's nice to kind of look back at it later on in life, you know, aside from selfies and other pictures and videos and things like that. It's always cool. Speaking of sharing pictures and stuff, I'd always recommend to either share pictures and videos once you've left the location or once you're back from your trip. Is it crazy? I don't know how else to say that. Especially as a woman, you want to make sure that you're safe at all times, and solo traveling can bring on its own set of things. So just try to share your location after you left, because people are crazy. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about having to put it online. Don't worry about having to prove that you're having fun. Baby, most of the best moments in life happen when there are no cameras around. No diddy. All right. sorry, I don't even want to get into that. After the trip, you might be feeling like the post-travel blues. I feel like that could easily turn into motivation for another trip though, right? So when you're coming back on the plane and you're landing back at home, or hell, if even if you took a train, you're on your way back home and you're like, damn, where can I go next? Like, we got to do this again. This feels great. So, you know, be open to that. Be open to being bit by that travel bug because it's real. It is so real. Maybe you might even create a blog about your travels too, right? Especially the solo travels. Oh my gosh, those are the best. The confidence that you get from doing solo trips can also be incorporated into your everyday life because you don't always have to take a solo trip to build confidence. You can take yourself out to dinner, go to the movies, go to the museum, do a picnic by yourself. A lot of these things that you do by yourself can really like make your confidence skyrocket, right? And it's like, you know, don't wait around for people to do things, especially in your 30s, because people have different commitments. Remember I told you pets, plants, family, you know, projects, whatever. And maybe schedules are just conflicting. So take those opportunities to go and do things by yourself, date yourself, whatever. I just want to give a couple of tips, some advice to make it easier. There's so much truth in your intuition, trusting your instincts and your gut. If a situation or a person makes you feel uneasy, remove yourself, get up out of there. Like, don't second guess it, especially on solo trips. Better to be safe than sorry with certain things. Like, I went to Puerto Rico by myself, went to a Bad Bunny concert or album release party, and it was around like 2 a.m. and I knew that he still had like other songs to go. And I'm like, all right, Benito, I love you, but I need to get back to the hotel and it's dark as hell outside. And I know, like, I just need to get back. Plus I had just got in that day. So I'm like, all right. And I was like, you know what? I'll sacrifice the last 6 songs because I'm sure somebody's gonna put this on TikTok. And I'm gonna go. And I went and I got an Uber and I went home. And I'm glad that I did because right outside of the, what do you call it? The concert hall, the venue hall, you couldn't get an Uber right there. You had to go towards the end of the street and it was like super dark and sketchy. And like, I'm just standing there like, oh no, ayúdame, you know? But if you feel like, you know, something's not right, trust that. Trust that. Your intuition is your superpower, ladies. Okay. Speaking of being in a dark corner, try to avoid wandering alone by yourself, especially when you're traveling and you're going out and maybe you're clubbing or you're going to dinner, whatever. Yes, there's nothing wrong with having drinks and stuff like that, but don't get yourself to a point where you are like incoherent. Because remember, you're by yourself, you're making yourself a target, and shit happens, okay? Shit happens, and we don't want that to happen to you, especially on your first trip, because then you're not gonna want to do anything else. So, and trauma is real. But yeah, share your location with loved ones on the trip. If you're afraid to do a huge trip like that by yourself, start small. Maybe try a different city in your state or try a different city in your country. You know, that helps to build up your confidence so you get to those big trips. I haven't tried it, but I've heard people recommend this and maybe I should look into it. Who knows? But just having knowledge of the nearest embassy in said country is a little helpful. Just a little bit. Okay. So, all right, let's wrap because this has been a long one. But I'm just so excited about solo travel. It's great. Everyone should do it. Solo travel is a time for personal freedom. It's about personal development and growth and things like that. You get to learn a little bit about yourself. You get to break up the monotony of the world. You know, I told you 30s can be like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And that's a time where you can just kind of chill out and have fun. Don't forget to be aware of your surroundings. Safety first. And be open to connecting with other solo travelers. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of connections you are. I've heard so many stories about finding love on vacation and things like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, as a lover girl on pause, you're always kind of like, ooh, like if you meet someone, you're like, is this the guy? Or is this the next love story? Ridiculous. Sorry. I told you, love a girl on pause. I'll come back. I'll resume shortly, but I'm on pause right now. So, really quickly, have you heard about those mystery trips where like you pay a certain amount and then an airline will tell you what kind of clothes to bring or what kind of activities or the weather or something like that. And then when you get to the airport, that's when they tell you where you're going. I want to try that. I think that's so cool. Like, it's bringing back the excitement of traveling. But I think that would be so cool. So I think I'm gonna sign up for that for next year. I said no trips this year, unless it's work related, but maybe next year, maybe 2025, we'll do one of those mystery trips and see what happens. Okay. And maybe I can make a video or vlog it. Who knows? I know I like vlogging, but it's like, it's so hard for me to like live and hold the camera. I'm like, no. So we'll see. And as always, I like to throw in a couple of resources. So Condé Nast Traveler, they have a really great podcast. It's called Women Who Travel. And every week they talk about stories of women that are exploring places either by themselves or just maybe like a bunch of girls. But it's a really, really nice listen and soothing too. So if you can get some inspiration from that, I totally recommend. And I'd say check out Viator, check out TripAdvisor, check out Airbnb. Just, see what there is to do in the city that you're traveling to. Or the country that you're traveling to, if you're gonna be hopping around from city to city, before you book anything. So that way you have an idea of like what you're gonna get into and what you're gonna do. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. And if you made it to this point, I love you. I love you. But if you have a trip coming up, I'd like to know where you're going. Don't have to tell me when, because safety. But let me know what you're most excited to do in that city. Okay. I need some inspiration. I think I would love to go to Greece. Now, I don't know if I want to do that by myself, but I definitely want to take some time, like at least 2 weeks there in Greece and see it all. So anyhow, let me know where you're going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you after your next trip. Bye.